Volume good over here?
Yeah.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Industrial Amputation, where you can expect the unexpected. This episode is dedicated in loving memory to iconic producer and journalist Steve Albini.
Yes. Say, man.
This tribute image was made by artist Stephen Gilmore. Steve, may you rest in power.
Yes.
See you later, Bubba. Thank you for your time and truly shit tons of inspiration.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
Today we have a very special guest who is an accomplished solo artist, member of Pigface, Grim Fairies, Spasm, My Life of the Throco Cult, and lead singer of the legendary industrial band Evil Mothers. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you one of Texas' own, Curse Mackey.
Hello,
Woo!
everybody. Right.
Welcome aboard, Curse.
Hey,
Nice
my
to be here.
compadre.
Here
Yeah,
for a
let's see
ride. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, Curse,
Yeah.
thank you so much for being with us today.
My pleasure. It's great to see all three of you and
Yeah.
everyone else.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
good to see
we
your
try.
face too, man. It's been a little bit.
It's so good to see you.
I know, man. You look beautiful, and I love your artwork behind you too. Looks pretty
Oh,
sharp.
thanks.
I need something
Yeah.
like that too.
Yeah, that's the guy who did Kevin Keys. Like,
Simon Paul.
Simon
he's really
Paul.
Simon Paul, yeah.
Yeah.
He's really cool. God bless. I hope his son is getting better.
Yes.
But Simon Paul
Honest
accept me.
building.
Yeah. I was happy to have a Simon Paul rendition of me done as well when I was on Kevin
Yeah.
Keys
He's got
I
some,
like that.
he's
I
got
like
some
that.
great stuff, man.
podcast. So that's
Yeah, it
kind of
looked
fun. I love
amazing.
that. It's good, consistent look.
Yeah, that you should get that backdrop too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
She said that's why I got this one.
Yeah.
I can do it. I can even play bass. Which way? But it's good to see you, man. It really is.
Yeah. And bummer on Steve Albini, certainly a pig face connection there right from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Big Seattle connection too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Their last show was in Georgetown here and was recorded as the what is it, the Pig Pal box set. And yeah, that was legendary. And he performed that one with Stephen J. Bernstein, a Seattle local hero poet that has been passed for some time now.
Evil Mothers did we did a cover of Kerosene,
Oh,
which is
nice.
my favorite Big Black song of all time, and one that I would always used to try to wish that we could do in pig face, but maybe we can
That was a great
in
song.
honor next time.
Yeah.
My first band did Sleep only live for the demo. We released it and played it backwards, played the live version backwards and called it Pills. We didn't have to worry about copyright stuff.
So,
So have you heard from Martin? Wait, have you heard from Martin?
Yeah, we chat probably. I think we touch base weekly.
Yeah.
On something. We were talking actually yesterday, but the subject was basically about. I think that I asked him if he had any drum loops sitting around from like back when he was really down in the mattress factory, like recording himself and then chopping it up and then doing all those heavy compressions and distortions and just going off for like a day, and was like looking for any of those kind of scraps because I was like wanting to maybe sample or loop him up into and maybe work it into some of my new material, which also then led into us talking about the new sign material and Martin telling me about some little bits of recording that he's been doing, some experimentation.
Excellent.
So maybe
fantastic.
there's like at least some creative spark conversations going on.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
that's
awesome, man.
So you're here on the eve of the 5-year anniversary of your debut solo album, Instant Exorcism.
Hey, now
I've got that one too. Yeah,
your version,
right.
And my favorite. It's a beautiful one with the red tint to it.
Red. That's the one I have. Yep. That
is
so pretty, man.
Artwork, by the way, in case people who don't know, and it's just such a fucking gorgeous album. You know, it's hard
Yeah.
to believe 5 years have passed already, hasn't it?
And that's because two of them were sucked down the drain. So I guess
Yeah.
it feels like three, but it's been five. But yeah, it's kind of interesting to reach a 5 year mark. Means I'm
Yeah.
definitely serious because about it. Because I'm currently, well, I go into the studio on Tuesday to record vocals for the new
Mhm.
record,
Right.
Oh, it's,
be the third, which is kind of the third of the trilogy.
uh-huh.
Mhm.
That's
That's
good.
exciting.
But yeah, I'm happy that 5 years and sounds
Mhm.
good still.
You
That's
know,
smart, man.
you've
Yeah.
been what decision led you to become a solo artist when you fronted so many bands?
Mm, just because of that, sort of in a way that not uh, there's some times I think there was like a time of waiting around, like anything, what's going on? Are we doing anything? And then a couple of years go by, and then you're like, okay, well, now I end up getting a job or something, and then I'm just DJing and not thinking about it. Then it's like, hey, 5 years have passed since any band that I'm in has done like anything super profound or gone extensively to do anything. So I just was going to basically, actually the actual full origin would be that I was going to DJ my way up to Chicago for Cold Waves Festival in 2016 and ride with Bradley Bills because Chant was playing.
Mhm.
And I was just going to DJ in Smart Bar because I
Mhm.
was sort of projectless. But then on the eve of that little run up to Chicago, I just threw together like this idea of an ambient noise set that was just all freestyle, just rather than DJ Curse Mackey. It was more like Curse
Mhm.
Mackey live PA style,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then adding vocals and a lot of dub delay and shit like that, and
Yeah.
building this outline of a more experimental, industrial, like true industrial kind of set. And then that developed into, and I actually did that kind of set in the basement of Smart Bar at 2016 Cold Waves. So that was almost like the first real Curse Mackey solo performance. And then I started
Oh,
booking dates as Curse Mackey like in 2017, because then I think I played with 242 that year, I believe, was like one of the first ones that I did. And then in 2018, I went out with Clan of Zymox for a little run. And then it started in 2019, I put out the album and then also went out on two legs with Thrill Kill Cult that year, and then also some Zymox stuff. And then into 2020 was out with Zymox again. And when the album came out in 2019, as you said, May 10th. So then, that was like the run and up until the mid Zymox tour in 2020 is when the pandemic sent us all home, basically to shut
yeah.
down. And so then you linger around for a couple of years, and then that's how I was able to just shift gears and get Immoral Emporium recorded and just move on to the next record because time slips away and just have to keep going.
Two
So
incredible releases.
well, this year was kind of or 2023 is a little bit of a rebuilding year because finally got to resolve the Clan of Zymox tour from 2020, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
So,
so yeah, I mean, it's just the fucking we're all riding the same rocky waves of all whatever life. Um, so now summer tour with Zymox again, and then trying to get as much of this new record written before we leave in a month.
mm, get your work cut out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man,
Damn.
That's awesome.
going for it. Just
That's
gotta
good,
like
man.
go for it.
You my man.
Do or
Gonna make
die.
your way back to Seattle?
What's that?
Are you gonna make your way back to Seattle?
Yes.
Excellent.
So basically the not really fully public yet, but I'm sure by the time that this airs anyway, it's close enough that like so I play Cold Waves with Zymox and Sign.
Mhm.
So we meet in September in Chicago, and then from there we package our way across to New York by like I think we do Toronto, Montreal, Boston, uh, Philadelphia, Baltimore, New York.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And then Zymox flies home on October 6th, post New York date. And then Sign and I will play like Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Detroit, and then get the van back to Chicago that we all travel with Zymox together in a van, band to go. So we have to drive our way back to Chicago and then drop off that van. And then at which point, then I will fly to Seattle. This is the long way around the country to your question. On
We appreciate
for
the effort you put into that.
for a
truly.
show on apparently October 12th, and that'll be the first date where I do a full leg with Pig.
Oh, excellent. Okay. Well, I will be there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um,
Should I bring more cake?
yeah.
Yes.
Always.
Excellent.
What do you feel like an instant exorcism conveyed at that moment in your life?
Well, it kind of lived up to its title
Mm,
in many
True.
ways, because that was a record that I needed to make. Again, getting back to evolving from being in these wonderful bands with so many awesome people, to then just really putting the pressure and figuring it out entirely on my own, to where the majority of the songwriting process, of course, I do have collaborations like with Chase Dobson and Charles Godfrey and Mutant, and other people have contributed musical parts here and there to the music, but
Yeah.
in theory, and all burden of creativity and making it happen from start to finish, from publishing the music and getting it out there on the recording side, to taking it to the stage and bringing it to people across the country, that's all on me. So that's kind of why. And so instant exorcism just kind of put me back in place of pursuing what I truly loved, which was being in a band, even though in this case it's a one-man band, and playing live shows and not being held back by anybody else's ability to do so, or scheduling, or desire, and so I do miss the band part of things too, but I do like having this one-man band because it allows me to take advantage of opportunities that may otherwise not be possible.
Yeah. That is a lot of freedom to.
So I can just, one flight or two, and just in and out, or,
Yeah.
just the overhead is really low. And since much of the economy in the music business right now is a little bit deflated too, it's hard. I mean, for people with like 4 and 5 band members that are operating in similar fields, it's a lot. It's hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
Yes,
I mean, it's
we've all done it,
It
Charles.
serves Klaus Larson
Yeah.
really well,
yeah. It's a lot of money, man. It's a lot of things. You don't want to be, you don't want to have to succumb to any kind of mishappenings or misfortunes and stuff like that. You just want to get things done.
Yeah.
And
That's
what I
pretty
see.
much my full-time pursuit at this point.
Yeah.
It's so the pressure's on to make it happen. There's really not like a side gig right now, and I've just kind of
Yeah.
committed to that, at least
Yeah.
for the time being, that this is what I want my full-time job to be, in essence, is just managing my career and doing my shit. So just have to go for it. And sometimes, we just played Vegas, Sign and I, and the guarantee was great, but by the time 2 flights during a festival thing, getting the hotels, and 2 days on the ground of all the Lyft and Uber and food and fucking shit parking, by the time you get home, it's like, well, it was like a 3-day vacation that paid for itself, and we got to play a show and go to the see Knights Rev in Front 242 and go to Sick Music. But fucking overhead for traveling bands is like absurd. I don't know.
The rates for parking,
Good
especially in
promotional
big cities, is just a nightmare to begin with.
Yeah.
So, Jesus Christ, man.
You can
I'm glad you were using a little
stack
bit.
up like 13 shows in 14 days, and then with 3-hour drives in between, and then you can kind of make it.
We got to get us a Malcolm McLaren
Yeah.
Someone who can foot the bill for us.
Yeah, yeah. We gotta
And then
find,
we
find,
and we
Yes.
give
find a
them
rich sugar daddy.
Where is he, she, or they
Yeah.
out there right now that believes in this art and
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
people
And wants to
and would be
fucking help
willing
us.
to
Yeah.
use some of their fortunate extra
Yeah.
financial well-being to support the arts,
Yeah.
much in the way that the other great minds of the past supported great orchestras and ballets.
Yeah.
Artists.
In many ways, we are the same.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
No, for sure. We should have more
patronage is
patronage. Yeah.
That's
Because you don't just do music.
right.
We
Yeah.
got
The little
got a piece of
tabletop cross. Yeah,
we
those are
got the
fun to make.
tabletop cross here. Little note on the bottom.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome. And who was it that designed the curse Mackey for you?
Oh, the key, yes, the skeleton key. So I kind of doodled the concept of the crescent moon and with the C and M, and then Rona fleshed that out, and Rona from Sign and made the full logo, designed the full logo,
Yeah,
and
it's
then
a
my
great
friend
shirt.
Mary
I get lots of comments
Hernandez
on the shirt.
did the 3D
Yeah.
printed keys, which are really rad.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So, do you still have those available on the site on Bandcamp?
Yes, I believe so on
You
cursemackey.com.
guys heard that?
Should be.
Get over to
I know that
Bandcamp
they're
and
like they're
spend
on
some
my
fucking money.
to-do list of things to make for getting ready for tour.
Yeah.
I lost my keys.
You don't need any keys, man.
Yeah.
Yours have been taken away.
Yeah, they've been taken away. Dang. That's why I can't get around. Jeez.
Doors locked from the outside,
Yeah. I know. Man.
like the good old days.
Yeah.
Yeah, Charles was Animal on tour, so he had to be locked into his hotel room from the
Yeah.
outside.
From the outside. Yeah.
I've heard he's a wild man on tour. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when
He was
Ian
great.
and Ash are together.
Charles,
It gets
you are
weird.
one of my favorite people to ever tour with, and I was reflecting that certainly at one point I feel that you had been the person that I might have done the most shows with at
Yeah.
one time, because we were both overlapping in my life with the Thrill Kill Cult, and
Oh,
Pigface kind of
Pigface.
had like a few years where
Yeah.
we were in both bands at the same time, and they both were pretty much like
Yeah.
coming out a couple of times a year almost. So we
Yeah.
stacked up a pretty good run of shows there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So
I
that's kind
miss them. I miss those days.
So give us some
Those-
dirt. Give us some dirt, Curse. Give us a fun story of Levi and you on tour.
I got one story.
You got it?
I remember when I stayed in Dallas and Curse, everyone went on to Houston. We played numbers. They had just gotten a new PA, and I was driving to Dallas. I was driving to Houston, and I left with some people. I didn't go with the band, and these people were like, I had to crack the whip. Hey, listen, motherfuckers, you guys got to take me to Houston. I don't want to hear this shit, because they just waited for me to fuck up. And so when I got on the road, the highway from Dallas to Houston was really fucking real raggedy. And I said, hey, listen to the person driving, get out, I'm driving. So I got behind it, and I was like, I'm driving, and I was driving. I was beating every, and I called Curse, and Curse told me, dude, where in the hell are you? And I said, oh man, I'm about hour and a half to. But you go, dude, you better get here. You got about it's gonna be rough, but you got to get here within about an hour and a half. So I was like, yeah. So then I was an hour away, and Curse goes, dude, we're about to go on stage. We're waiting for you. And I was like, oh. And I was like,
Oh,
oh my
man.
God. And these people were sleeping while I was driving. So they didn't know my way around. So I finally get there and I said, they're like, oh, I'm hungry, blah, blah, blah. I said, you better fucking, that's too bad. So I got out of the fucking van and I ran to the club in Numbers, and Sherry Blue said she was just walking off. And I go, what? I thought we were gonna get I thought you were going we were doing the show. I was like, I was scared. I was scared. I was cursing people out. But we got there and Curse was so cool. He was like, you know you fuck up. You know you gotta be here. And I was like, oh my God. And I know he had me, I was fucking scared. And you want to know something? That was one of the best shows on that tour. That was a great show for me. And it was a great show for the band. And I feel sorry for those people. And because I really scared the shit out of them. I
Oh
said, you
my
got to
God.
give me. And Curse was so cool. He was like, I had to do that, Chooch, because you wouldn't have got here. I had to do that to get you worried. I was worried, Curse. I was scared as hell. I was worried. That
Glad it-
was just that was one that was just one of the many. But
Oh
man.
my God, that's awesome.
that was horrible. I mean, I was so scared. I was so scared. I
I
could
loved all the
feel.
shows at Numbers, man.
Yeah, all the shows and numbers were great. They were
And
great.
yeah,
Yeah.
wild days. Yeah, tour managing and playing in that, man, I don't know. That was some wild
Yeah, you
days.
were the manager of doing
Uh,
at that time, yeah?
yeah.
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 Yeah, he had his work cut out. You know,
Yeah, I bet you
he's
did.
looking
Trying to
at big
wrangle everybody in Pigface? Holy shit, dude. How did
he's
you
looking
survive
at
that?
he's looking at a big old schmuck like me. I'm like,
That was Thrill
hey,
Kill Cult.
Oh,
yeah,
is
that was
that
still
Thrill Kill
cool.
Cult?
Yeah.
Well, still trying to wrangle all the people in Thrill Kill
Yeah.
Cult. That must have been fun.
Oh,
It
just
was
a rank.
fun. We had a good
Yeah,
time.
absolutely. Yeah, he was. But with Pigface, Curse Combs keeps it together.
Yeah,
He's
we did tour manage that one too. Me and Atkins would co-tour
yeah,
manage it, kind of.
yeah. Put a lot of work on Curse. Curse, I remember when we did Explosion tour, and I knew that he was special to me. You know, when we did this Explosion tour, I was introduced and to Curse, and he was like family. It was just it's like you know, it was only apparent that he could be so have so much to do with the band, with Thurkill, and with us all as artists. You know, I look up to Chris. You know, curse. I don't curse him. I just look up to him.
I love you.
It's,
Awesome.
I
Yeah, I
love
remember
you too.
Frankie, old groovy man's like, "Come here, meet my black baby." Something like that. You know, like something just cute and funny.
Yeah,
And I was like, oh man, hell yeah, Charles fucking rocks.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. It's so good, and I like being on stage with him because it was just cool. It's just the presence. You know, I saw him with Evil Mothers and all those guys, and the whole Texas was like a second home in a way. You
Yeah.
know,
I mean,
just like a
basically
second home.
Thrill Kill just started and just first shows were like,
Uh-huh.
where do we go? Let's go to Texas.
Texas, yeah,
So,
yeah,
I think I put
exactly.
on their second show ever or something like that.
Uh-huh. I know one thing. I know Al was like when he did ministry, he was on tour and he called up the studio. We were in tracks, and he said, "Man, fucking, you hear this crowd?" He says, "This is Texas. This is where men are cowboys, men and this and that." He was just nuts, and he brought me back a cowboy hat, and we wore cowboy hats, and that was the look, pretty much.
Yeah.
I just, that was the look, pretty much. That's why
Yeah.
carried over. So I knew what to expect when I got there. And it was true. The audience was great. It was fun. And, I moved down there for a little while in Austin, but I miss, I just miss touring. I miss doing shows, Curse. I miss performing, you know,
Yeah.
I miss all of us, pretty much. We're getting older and I don't see why we keep, whatever differences like with Skinny Puppy or whatever, or whoever has problems, they just need to iron that shit out because we're not getting any younger, especially
Yeah.
with Steve Albini passing.
I know.
That's a hard thing to
Yeah.
swallow,
Yeah, 61, man. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Exactly.
61.
And
Fucking scary.
Shorty
It's scary.
Walker too.
Yeah, Jordy. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
Jordy.
Those are
Yeah.
like out of left field. You don't see them
Yeah.
coming. And
Yeah.
I agree, though, Charles. I think that sometimes I wonder, like, I feel like overall have managed to maintain good relationships with people I've worked with and those that I've admire that I've become
Yeah.
friends with and collaborated with through the years and all the projects we've mentioned.
Yeah.
But I know some people don't get along well with each other, and I just wish that
Yeah.
sometimes it hinders others around them ability
Yeah.
to collaborate or to feel comfortable at times or to know where things stand. So sometimes it'd be nice to
Yeah.
kind of, I think that comes with time. You realize, like, man, fucking, what's the point of having some lifelong grudge with
Yeah.
someone that might still be like a really good friend, an ally, and
Yeah.
future
Exactly.
collaborator as well as past. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
whatever.
Definitely. Hey,
There's a lot
where's
of people
Joey?
in the world. I
I
guess they
fucking
can't.
love everybody, man. I
Yeah.
just, I just want to
Yeah.
keep it peaceful with everybody, but that's just
Where's
me.
Joey? I just
Yeah, where's
oh,
Joey?
Yeah.
Pickers, an Amore Emporium.
Yes.
You collaborated with Chase Dobson and Ken Marshall. He
Yeah.
mastered this amazing release. I was wondering, when you're doing your song compositions, does the music come first or the lyrics? How do you go about that?
Yes. Typically, it starts from a musical standpoint, which is usually just kind of, I use Ableton Live as my
Mhm.
DAW.
Yeah.
So we'll typically start with deciding on what the tempo is going to be and then getting a basic beat down that then I can start jamming synth parts to. And then I'll just get a vibe going and then do a few passes of, say, I'm just going to work with one specific synthesizer and I'll do 3 passes, like for 5 minutes, and just stack them up on top of each other and then kind of go back and see if there's anything intriguing and then start making loops. Typically, it's almost like sampling myself
Yeah.
to get an initial vibe going to then maybe create an arpeggiating synth that's the backbone or spine of whatever else that I'm going to start piling on top of that. And then along with that, if I'm in album writing mode like I am now, there's another lane of creativity, which is the pen and paper and writing words and lyrics and
Mhm.
having ideas of things to talk about that then start shaping themselves as to the music that they're aligning with. So kind of it's like these 2 lanes that start once I record the words, then those become audio too, and then that's where it merges.
Yeah.
So,
So
I
do
got to hear a
you
lot of
do
these
you use
tracks and stuff.
Innovation? I'm sorry, Joey.
Oh,
Do
that's
you
okay.
use the launch pad for your Ableton?
no.
No, I just ordered one. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I don't really
interesting
trigger
to try to
loops
figure it
like
out.
that. I don't find those particular grid-based pad
Reliable.
instruments to my needs.
Huh.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I might find out it's not for mine either. I have no idea. I just saw it and I'm
Yeah.
like, I think I need to upgrade something and get a little bit better handle on
whole
my
shit to buy something.
software. But yeah, I've got like, tracks that are, I've got a couple of pieces called Noise and Nonsense. And it's just, I walk in, I plug in and I mute everything else and just play something for a while.
Mhm.
And it doesn't relate to anything else, but it's all there for just chopping up, making samples and loops with. It's a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
So, and then I guess to further that, once I get into the depths of, now that I have like, say, 10 songs that are fighting for position and attention
Mhm.
for the making the record, then, but I know that I'm still writing, then then I start becoming more selective of like, okay, where it's almost like a movie. Like, do I need another action part? Or is there something that maybe should be a little more slow and foreboding or whatever that
Yeah.
I'll write for the purpose of making an album, which is
Mhm.
just for my own entertainment.
Excellent.
Yeah. So like I said, record vocals this week, and then we'll try to have demos of new stuff
Mhm.
you have
What
with me
mic do
on
you use for
tour
your
in June.
vocals when you're in the studio?
What's that?
What mic do you use for your vocals in the studio?
Depends. Charles Godfrey is my vocal engineer, and he just moved into a new studio, so there's really no. So, I've handheld a SM57 and used
Yeah.
lots of Neumanns. It just kind of depends on the setting. Open air microphone, just depends. But I don't know. He has a new studio space now, so I'm actually going into a new environment that I've never seen. So I don't really know what's going to happen.
Very excited for you, man.
Yeah, I am too. Getting the vocals recorded is a huge step for me. So
Yeah.
I just like to say, More Emporium, deeply introspective album. It's subdued at times, it's a very personal record and provides a listener with a glimpse into who you truly are as a person, which is very articulate and a seasoned musician with an ethos that is a true testament to anyone who's fortunate to know you.
well, thank
For
you.
sure.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Of course.
Yeah, this next one's going to takes the first two albums, and I don't know, it distills it in a very because the first one's like very phantasmagorical, and then the second one is maybe a bit uh, reactionary to the new lance. It's very, I guess, more of like a dystopian reality because it came out in 2022, so it was really written during the shutdown. So it's a little more real, and then now this one is just like it kind of takes that all to a very personal level. So I think it'll probably be the album with the more like most biting emotional reality versus stuff on the first record.
Freaking incredible.
But still with that sort of the realistic, devilish.
So you've got a brilliant cover on the first one, Instant Exorcism. The shit, I can't remember the name of it. Joey, help me out here. The one that David J also does a cover of it, and it was in the movie Moulin Rouge. God damn it. Or you've got like a line from that song in it on one of yours.
Well, get back to us on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go grab the record.
We'll figure it
I'll
out.
do
Yeah. So David J.
Yeah.
Man, I had yet to meet this guy.
David's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Super clever, very sort of very magical kind of medium of a person.
Yeah.
Probably would hang out with Houdini in a different life.
Yeah.
But he's cool. It's been a fun person to start working with and become friends with, and have wild shared experiences of spontaneous music making.
I
been
could see
real
that.
cool.
David, what's the other guy's name? In Love and Rockets. Yeah.
Daniel Ash.
Daniel, I met Daniel. He's cool. He's cool.
Yeah.
He's mellowed out a lot. I met him. He was DJing, and we were all partying and having a dance, a Soul Train line
Mhm.
for at this publisher's ball in Hollywood, and he was cutting up. You know, he was really good. You know, we didn't talk music. We just drank martinis and just had a good time.
It's good.
Yeah, yeah, he was cool. I don't think he'd probably remember me because I was too much fun. but but it was
He's a TKK fan.
yeah, yeah. So um so anyway, so Rona has she played with Nitzareth.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
Amazing as that.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know she played drums, Curse.
Yeah. Yeah. She used to play when we first got together. She was playing an actual acoustic kit for a band here called Dead Love Club
Oh,
that actually had opened for TKK a couple of times over the years. So yeah, she's full-fledged pro drummer. Yeah, she has a
yeah.
Gretsch endorsement even.
Oh,
So
wow. Great set shit.
yeah, and
Damn. I didn't
so
even know, man.
she's good with the the technology of electronic drums and such.
Yeah.
And nice one, Jim. Um, so we got to become friends with Bon at Cold Waves.
He is
I already
such a
knew
sweetheart.
Douglas, but met Bon, I think in 20, I think whatever the year Ogre played and I played. So I think 2019. Started just kept in touch, and then I ended up opening for Knights Arab, and then at the show we just kept in touch more, and then she opened for them in Dallas, Sign did, and he comes to my shows in LA and we hang out, and then he reached out, just being that the band was in a bit of a challenging situation because Douglas was struggling, was not able to travel, and so but they all agreed that Knights Arab show should go on at Dark Force Fest in particular. So that's when Bond asked Rona if she would do the kind of the electronic drum thing
Yeah.
that he normally does and kind of basically run his rig,
Uh-huh.
that part of his rig, and then he takes over vocal duties. And
Wow.
they pulled it off. It was really good. Sounded great. And
Yeah, I got to check it out. I
That was
didn't
a-
even know she played, man.
yeah,
Did she ever come up on stage when we played?
yes, it's just pictures of her on Martin's kit.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
I can't tell what's in back.
Freaking fantastic, man.
Yeah, in
Wow.
20, I think in both 2016 and maybe probably 2019, she did. Yeah, because I know that I think there's a picture of her next to Danny Carey from 2019,
Oh,
both on the kit.
wow. Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
that's
doing great.
crazy.
She's
That's good.
also working hard on the next Sign. And then
Yeah.
we have the tour coming up together, which starts June 14th in Austin, Clan of Zymox tour. So
Oh, wow.
in the meantime, so we're just, I mean, fucking recording and then rehearsing and building the new
Yeah.
show. And then I'm like, speaking of art and shit, like
Yeah.
I'm,
I,
I'm in
I
full,
noticed it.
Are
I
you the
noticed it.
artist for the stuff in the background?
I'm making, yeah, like these guys, Hobby Lobby, I get these
That's beautiful.
crosses from, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
do these basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's freaking
This
awesome.
thing is
Freaking awesome.
based off of, yeah, so this is like the original artwork I made for one of my singles,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mutatis Mutandis, that
Mm.
I wrote with Mutant, and then the remixes are by Mutant and Justin Bennett
Oh,
from Speed Puppy, Cat
fantastic.
Vector.
Yeah.
And then I
Mm.
started just going down this little tangent of, I made this mask utilizing the same.
Yeah, I love those.
Wow.
And
That's freaking cool.
How long does it take you to make one of those?
well, I guess hours.
It, the paintings on the wall behind you, are those yours?
Yeah,
Oh, they're fucking beautiful, man.
Yeah.
those
I
are
like that.
back from the early days of the project, and when I would just make noise, and I would I put those canvases on the stage below my rig,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
then right at the beginning of my set, just Jackson Pollock style, a whole
Yeah.
bunch of
Oh,
globs of paint. So
uh,
all the paint is spread by my feet, churning around as I'm kind of walking around
That is
the
awesome.
synthesizers and stomping my feet, singing and whatever. And then that's just what all the marks are made from. And they end up with these kind of bizarre abstract paintings that are pretty fun. I've got like a dozen of those.
I used
Huh.
to
There's
do the
another
thing where I
fresh
would
one.
It's
Wow.
paint up a girl and we would jump on a mat or jump on a big sheet,
that's cool.
paint it up with our bodies.
That's
Fun.
what happens when that's the mask when you wear the mask. It that's the stuff comes off to the face. You know. Yeah.
First, can people
Huh.
grab this off
Been
your
into
band
these
camp, or
nails that I got from my dad's
Yeah,
property,
no,
like
that's
those
freaking
rusty
awesome.
nails.
Oh
But
wow.
is
I've
it
always
available
thought
on
that those
Steam?
bandolero things. I'm
pretty
sorry,
wild.
was that
Yeah.
Joey? Joey, were you
Rusty.
saying
Those are
something?
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
So
Those,
that's
those
fun.
nail guns, with
Yeah,
the
exactly.
strips, they're perfect
That's
for.
exactly what they are. And
Yeah.
then just like trying to churn on all the crucifixes.
Mhm.
Versification. Yeah. I got to get one of those, man.
Yeah, I'll
So-
give you one when I see you. I'm trying to get a Denver show.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I have shows everywhere else but fucking Denver right now.
See, that's what I miss about Chicago, because I never really asked Joe Shannon or any of those guys to be able to throw a show, have a show at a certain place. So now I'm in Denver, and I haven't gone out much because of my health, but you should get a show here, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
The last show, the Zymox show was good last year, but this one isn't routing through there. And I'm not sure what the pig routing looks like.
Yeah.
They go there before I join them or not.
Oh,
So, but I did reach out to, do you know AJ from Ritual? Do you know who he is? He's kind of like the guy that promotes most of the shit.
I've heard of him.
He's
I've
cool.
heard.
I should
He's cool.
introduce you to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you ever want to go to a show, I mean, he's definitely he promoted the Pig Face show in 2019.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
The snowy day in Denver show.
Oh yeah, the
AJ put
freezing.
that one on. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that man,
The
that
one we
was
barely
cool.
made
Yeah, I know.
due to snow
Exactly.
business.
Yeah, that's when I peed and it almost froze. I'm sitting there tinkling and it froze almost from the tip. I'm just kidding. But I'm so silly. I'm
Some
ever
things
so
don't
silly.
change. It's good.
Nah, I gotta stay that way.
That's right.
It's just, especially now, I don't get to see many people, but I got my two Joes, my Joey and my Joe,
Yeah.
and
Can't
Danielle.
live forever.
Danielle, she's in bed. She's, we have a cold. It's cold here.
Right
That,
now?
yeah, it gets, it gets warm. It'll be 70 degrees. And then the next day it'll be like 40, you know. But I like it though. It's not like Chicago. I miss the lake, but nah.
That's Chicago must be colder than Denver.
Yeah, it is. But it was warm. But it was warmer just a couple of days ago. Mike Kondo called me from Liars Club. He called me and he told me, I'm on the roof at Liars Club. And I was like, oh, really? And he was talking to me. So I'm sure he wants me to say hi to you.
Excellent.
Yeah. Mike Kondo's doing good. Yeah. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he helped me out. He was my tech for a day when I opened for Zymox in Chicago last year.
Yeah. Oh,
Helped me
yeah.
out immensely.
Yeah.
I think he picked me and Rona up from the airport, drove me to the venue, helped me lug my shit,
Yeah.
helped me set it up. Probably went up there and started organizing all my cables and taping shit
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
better than I do, and then like helped me pack it all up. It's like,
Oh, wow.
dude.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
what love is, man.
Yeah.
I miss them, you know. I really do. You know, it's awesome. So, so as far as Pigface, I don't know the status, but I know that just being productive and creative is the ticket for all of us. You know, that's all I gotta say. You keep doing what you do. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so happy. You know, and I did my research. I listened to some tracks. You know, and I like it, man. You know, I really do. I like the cinematic, and I like the artwork. I can't say the word, but I like the video a lot.
Right.
It shows that our sense of excellence
Hmm.
does not, you know, is still there. You know,
Thank you.
so thank you, man. Yeah, for
I
sure.
And
wanted
that's what I
to,
s-
I wanted to apologize. I had a surgical procedure a week ago, and the sedation didn't work well with me, and I'm still having some fucking funky hiccups in my brain. Wasn't a cover, I don't think. It was the song where the greatest lesson you will learn is to love and be loved in return.
Oh, yes.
That is the song I'm talking about, and I recall that is also a line in the movie Moulin Rouge. That song is in there, and David J covers it on one of his solo albums as well. How did you work that in?
Oh, I just
Because it's
think
fucking
I
beautiful. That
lifted
song
that
is,
from the end of a book that I finished, and I believe it was a Charles Bukowski moment.
yeah,
Oh, a
yeah,
Bukowski. Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bukowski's
And I was just looking for a line, and I'm like,
yeah.
hey, there's one.
It's such a
You-
It
beautiful
just
song, man.
sometimes like the way,
Is that one of the Secrets of the Resurrection? Is that the
yeah,
one that's in? Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So basically, it was basically the last thing said on the record.
yes,
And it kind of gets to the point of like, yes, getting instant exorcism. Well, there really is no such thing, right? You have to live a whole life to be able to know like what your demons are, identify them, and then exorcise them from your life, whether you choose to or not. It's really up to the individual. But one of the key ways that you do that ultimately is that simple. Is just like love doing what you do and be a good person, like fucking love life. And if you can like kind of open up to that and not have a chip on your shoulder and carry your fucking worst baggage around and display it for everybody as your
Yeah,
no, it's a
forward way of being, then you may have a shot of having an enjoyable life. It doesn't mean you're going to be rich or poor or
right.
anything, but
yeah.
all of those things aside, like any individual can find a little peace of mind with just certain ways of living life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful, beautiful fucking record. I must have listened to it 400 times after you
Oh,
sent it.
thanks.
And
Yeah, me too.
no, it's absolutely incredible. Immoral Emporium also absolutely top notch. Goddamn, I'm waiting on pins and needles for that next one.
Oh, let's see.
When is Shiva Saves coming out with new music with David J and Rona?
What's that?
Shiva Saves, your project with David J and Rona. When are you guys projecting to have that out?
Good question. Well, we'd like to have it out probably, I would say, in best case scenario would be to have a single out this year and then get the record out in the first part of next year. But we're still looking for a label partner. So that's where with the current networking behind the scenes is all about, is sharing the project with some of our friends of influence and getting some opinions and ideas on where it may best be suited for release.
Mm.
Kind of just figuring things out.
Can you at least
David's on
describe
tour. We'll be on tour, so it'll probably end up sitting on the shelf for the next 6 weeks or so because we'll just be busy. It's a really good record, so
You guys do seem to
get
be
it
very
out,
busy.
and it can be. I think it could be a really cool live show.
Yeah, well,
And,
you do have good chemistry with David J on stage. The that show, with, that you filled in for Peter Murphy. That's some pretty big fucking shoes, man. You
Size
did a
12.
good job. You did a good job.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I bet it was. God damn, that's
that was-
like a fucking dream. It's like, oh, who's not here? I can get on stage with David J. Holy shit.
Yeah,
That's
That's-
freaking awesome. Yeah.
Well,
That's
fortunately,
awesome.
fortunately, I will always refer back to Evil Mothers that like Patrick Sane and I, it's kind of like, do you like this or that? And, like just young and learning, you kind of bond over music. Like, yeah, I kind of want to be in a band too.
Yeah.
It's like,
Mhm.
do you know Stigmata Martyr? Like, oh,
Mm.
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And Patrick starts playing that and I start singing it. And it's like, okay, yeah, I think we can make music together. So it's kind of like,
Yeah,
so we over the years had messed around with other Bauhaus songs, and it was just kind of part of the fabric of Evil Mothers, which is the only reason that I would have said anything at that point to be like, hey, there's a chance I might be able to pull this off. Because like if I didn't have that background, I wouldn't
Yeah.
there would be no point or I guess any impulse to even make mention. So
yeah.
yeah, that was fun.
That was a fun
That's
video.
will always be a
I wish I could
highlight
have been
of
there
both
live for
Rona
that.
and I's musical
Hmm.
lives.
Yeah.
And it formed a new band. So
Yeah. No, I mean, you are doing stuff with David J. Ali Joffrey. We've had him on the show too, also in Pig Face, and also
yeah, Ollie's
stuff with David
awesome.
J.
He has a new
Yeah.
album out. It's really good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fucking amazing.
I've heard it.
No, it's absolutely incredible and so poignant as well. It's in pretty heavy rotation in my playlist right now. So
Um,
so what's it like working with David J?
Oh, it's a blast.
Magical.
It's fairly, it's serious but lighthearted, and it's very creative and open to chance and circumstance.
Yeah.
So
He
it's good.
seems very zen.
We get along well because like I think we have a very good connection on some of the just on like literature and other references that we have kind of work well together.
Yeah, he seems very zen, and
It's a good trio with Rona, I, and him working together. Because like for the Shiva Saves thing, it's basically like kind of it all started. Rona had these sort of I'll just call skeletons, which are kind of like beat grooves with maybe a little bass line or a flourish of a synth here and there, and then which they might be like a minute or two long.
Yeah.
And then I would take those and I build an arrangement of like, say, add on to it and turn it into something that's 5 minutes long. And then David came in and we had like a dozen of those, and he came to our house in Austin into my studio, and I just recorded him on bass, and it was like, okay, here's number one, and he'd do like 3 passes at it, and then like, all right, let's do the next one. Do you want to hear it? No, just play it. It's like it was almost very improvisational, much in the way we started. So it's cool. And then once all his stuff was recorded, then I kind of went back in and chopped up the best parts and fleshed out the songs more. And then they went through their various stages of going to a couple of different studios and then ultimately landing. Chase Dobson came to our house with David J last year, and we mixed that record here. And it was fun because Chase and David J came, so it was like our own little summer camp in the winter because we had a snowstorm, so we totally got iced in and couldn't go anywhere for like 5 days. So
you guys had snow in Texas?
You got a
This is
freaking
a bad one.
studio to play
shitty
in.
snow ice.
Snow ice.
So yeah, like you're not going anywhere.
I thought Chase was I thought he lived in Denver.
He does.
Oh, he does?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we basically have had enough room to both of those guys to camp out here for a week. Yeah, it was fun.
That's good.
It was quite surreal. It was good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So,
Can you hear this?
Can we hear what?
man,
You hear music?
I hear
No.
what sounds like someone on a TV.
Oh, that's been back. That's in back of me.
Oh,
Could do
okay,
that.
all right.
I don't know what the hell that is.
So
I know
a couple
I
of years ago, Curse, you were at the McShinnemus, God, I can't even remember how to pronounce that.
machinist.
Ollie's festival out in
Oh,
Seattle.
yes, the mechanismus.
Mechanisms, that's it.
Mechanismus.
I am so sorry, Ollie. You get to smack me like a whole bunch of times next time. Um,
Missy.
I'm trying.
Machinist.
We're gonna have him on at some point, but but
You probably
how did you get set up with that festival? And
He was at Ollie was maybe he was at Absolution Fest in Tampa. I think
okay.
yeah, that would have to be it. When I played that, and we met there, and then I played it the following year. Yeah,
oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, that
good
was a
crew up
great
there.
time.
I love.
That was a great time. And you are truly a gracious human being. I mean, you got this guy on Facebook that you never fucking knew or heard of before reaching out going, "Hey man, how you
the other
doing?
guy,
It's gonna be your birthday, man. Do you want a cake?" And you were like, "Fuck yeah, I want a cake."
with icing and shit.
Yeah, no, I'm like, "What do you want?" I'm expecting, something really
Quite a
elaborate.
number of performing artists at the festival enjoyed the cake you brought.
Yeah, no, it was supposed to have a really cool graveyard scene on it, but I was under time pressure when I made it, so it was still warm when I started icing it, and everything just melted together. So I went, "Fuck it," and
The squirt
sprinkle it
all
all
over.
together, and then sprinkled red sugar glitter all over it. But it was tasty. It was tasty. So you've got good tasting cake, man.
Thanks
Just
for me.
a yellow cake with chocolate frosting. That's I was expecting something much more complex from you, and I was quite surprised and pleased that you down to earth
So,
with cake preferences.
some
So.
It
curse
doesn't take a lot to please me.
bust
Well,
cake.
I want to
You
thank
know,
you for being so gracious to me out there. That was a fun time. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to seeing you out here again. So,
Yeah. Well, hopefully that pig show will be it.
yeah.
I'd love to come. I
he
was trying to
puts
get an August
Raymond puts
show
on
for
an
Seattle, but
incredible
it didn't
show.
work out.
Yeah.
You know something?
Are you going to be playing with him? Are you
Who?
going to be part of his band, or are you just opening
I'll be support.
support? Okay. Yeah.
Support. No, he's not gonna go with that.
Co-headlining.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Co-headlining. There you go. Awesome. I love it.
Co-headlining, but pig goes on last.
Yeah.
You know some
I
hey
churn the
curse.
fires, and then Raymond will
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
take their
Yeah.
heads.
No,
You know
he's
something?
been incredible.
Curse, I was walking, this is like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I was downtown in Chicago, and I ran into Xanthia.
But yeah, from Tampa, Florida.
Yeah, I ran into her in Chicago. I was walking with some friends, and this girl goes, Levi. And I turned around, and it was her. It was by the Hancock building. I said, what are you doing here? And she told me blah, blah, blah. She's still the same. She's cool. And she still does what she does. But that came to my mind because I thought about it. And I go, wow, that's right. I met her in Tampa. And Star was in Tampa. And we had him on the show. And he told me that he wanted to know why was I the guy that he could get it. Someone said, you can come to the show, Levi gets you in. And so he goes, really? And I was like, I didn't remember the moment, but he described it to me. And I remember the railroad tracks by the venue we played
Masquerade.
at. Yeah, by Masquerade. And he said, yeah, Levi just walked in and said, yeah, man, what's up? You okay? You got to get in. So he brought back memories. They brought back memories. And I was like shocked. But
It was fun back in those days too. Ybor City, it's a
yeah,
fun place to live.
yeah,
Really
yeah,
enjoyed my
exactly.
time there.
Yeah, it's different now. Oh
Yeah,
my
it's
God.
getting sold out, much like Austin,
Oh yeah. It's sold out big time. Man, I
turning
don't know.
into like a sports city. It
Yeah, yeah,
was just like a little bohemian melting pot.
yeah,
To
it
be like
was.
when I first went to Tampa, I'm like, oh, this is like New Orleans meets Austin
Austin.
with a hint
Yeah,
of San Antonio
yes.
or history.
Yeah. They had good pizza too.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
still
no.
do that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
we're gonna
could.
be down there next month. Castle's still kicking and still good.
Oh,
Ybor City, but they're just having a harder time fighting the evolution. It's harder for the
yeah,
clubs to just
yeah,
music venues are challenged everywhere, so
yeah.
but
Yep.
they're hanging in
Your
there.
your first record was Evil Mothers with Crossdresser. I was wondering, how did you get signed up to records and be on Martin Atkins' radar?
How did Evil Mothers get on Martin Adkins' radar?
Yeah.
Well, I met Martin first through Al Jorgensen on when we were doing I and my cronies in San Antonio organized and promoted the Ministry is the Mind Terrible Thing. Mine is a Terrible Thing to Taste tour.
Mhm.
So Martin was a drummer on that.
Mhm.
And this was I'd already known Al and Ogre by then for a few years, but this first time to meet Atkins, I basically took the whole band. We all went out to eat Mexican food before the show. And so just had a chance to talk to Martin for the first
Mhm.
time, just having dinner. And then the show was amazing. They killed it. And we probably went and saw it at Numbers for the next 2 nights. And then went to Chicago to see, I think, Killing Joke Revco on New Year's Eve in
Wow.
Chicago. So saw him
Wow.
again. And then he called me basically going, hey, I got this pig face thing going and wondering if you could help me put on a show in San Antonio, which we did. And
Yeah.
at a club called the Vortex, I think is where we did it. And Evil Mothers rehearsed in that room, in that venue. So I'd seen Martin talking interviews and like, hey, Pigface anybody could be in Pigface or whatever kind of
Yeah.
thing, as I remember it.
Yeah.
And I think he tells it a little differently, but basically I just said, well, hey, showed him our rehearsal room with all our oil drums that we would set on fire, metal barrels and
I
shit.
know.
And so I'm like, so anybody could be in Pigface, and yeah, all right.
Okay.
Yeah. So kind of like, well,
Yeah.
you guys bring this shit up on stage and whatever, set it on fire.
Yeah.
Eventually we did. So yeah, he just had us up for the encore and we just did this long tribal drum jam with
Yeah.
like
I remember.
Reeflin, Atkins, and five Evil Mothers just banging recklessly on metal drums, like, and Ogre yelling into a microphone, and it's like them just doing whatever. Raven was there at the
Yeah.
time, and it was fucking rad. So
Basically making
and
all
we
my
just started
favorite
getting
songs.
invited to open more shows for
Yeah.
Pigface, and then the label kind of grew into something because Pigface was growing into something. So Invisible Records grew into something.
Mhm.
So then Martin just offered to put that record out that you were showing there, Crossdresser. So as well as like three other Evil Mothers records.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Crossdresser
how it
was
came to
cool.
be. It was just kind of like
My favorite.
saying, yeah, that's my favorite too.
Yeah.
Spider Sex and Car Wrecks.
Great fucking album. What hooked me on you?
Yeah.
Mm.
I have a feeling I'm
Times.
about to spend a lot more money.
Yeah.
Go to
I
Chris's
don't
Bandcamp.
have any either Evil Mothers at all. And
What?
now I'm gonna be on Discogs trying to find them. Yeah, I know, right? Someone needs to kick my ass.
Yeah.
So,
Probably should do it
Yes.
on YouTube.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Fuck yeah.
Two of your favorite albums are Twitch by Ministry and The Downward Spiral by Nine Inch Nails. What do you find significant about these two records?
Where did you come by that information?
We're having a Q&A or like after their
I'm
like your
Beethoven's
impromptu
Fifth.
sessions, and I asked you that question.
I know.
You named off 5 significant albums.
I'm just kidding. No, that probably is true. Let's see. So, Twitch and Downward Spiral. Well, Twitch was like the profound, just badass. Like this is like some really fucking kick-ass, mostly sample based program drum industrial dance music, which I really and I love spinning that stuff. Like on
Yeah.
vinyl, I would do sick remixes of like to we believe 12 inches and running it through effects units and
Oh, yeah.
phasing and playing in sync and just doing lots of cool crossfades. Like I really had a good time DJing that material.
Yeah.
Downward Spiral is just a groundbreaking, nothing more needs to be said. That one was just fuck yeah. And I was a Nails fan, and I put on their first show in San Antonio too. So, that one just resonated.
It did.
And still
Big
does.
time.
I don't listen to
it
it that
still
much, but
does,
I don't
yeah.
mind hearing those songs. It was like, I
I
might
don't
have
get
got a
tired
little
of it.
burnout at one point after listening to it so fucking much, like, where you're on your second or third CD, but overall, it's brilliant work.
Yeah. Hey, Danny.
We could all do something so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit. That album, I was just kind of like, oh my God, wow. That one hit me right in the face, big time. It was a horrible breakup with somebody going on about the same time, and everything on that was like, I'm like, this is right in my head already. So yeah, I think a lot of people had that reaction to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a perfect song for the era and time, or it's a
Yeah.
perfect album.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
And to have the little sort of the videos were great, like the closer video, and just all really set the tone for success.
That was about the time when the fetish scene in Seattle was huge and really, underground, and I was a huge part of that. And shit,
Yep.
man, it just takes me back to a really, really good place.
Club Funk.
Yeah.
Yeah, Club Funk was at
Club
its height.
Funk, yeah. We had one in Seattle for a little bit, and I remember meeting the owners of that place, and the guy was like, "This that I'm getting ready to play, this is Corpus Delicti." Like I wouldn't know who they are, and I'm like, "Oh, you mean as opposed to Corpus Christi?" And he about pissed himself laughing. It was he's like, "Dude, I like you." That was a great time.
Heard your cover of Warrior of Utter Destruction off the David Bowie album, #1 Outside. It's incredible. You only performed it a handful of times. Wondering if that track is ever going to see the light of day.
No, I would do it again live, but basically the music that I was using, the music I wrote that I feel that was sort of reminded me of that song, that I then put those lyrics on and was shaping it a little bit to be a cover. I kind of did it at that Austin Free Week show and maybe somewhere else, but then I just took that music in another direction. It ultimately became I'm drawing a blank. Levi.
Blank.
Oh, Altar of Falsehoods.
Oh, okay.
Is basically had the same skeleton that I essentially, as I refer to, like kind of the core beat and bass line, that when I did that show, I turned that into a Bowie cover, but ultimately the music evolved and became my song.
Well, hey, if you feel like doing it live when you do get to Seattle, David Bowie is my hero, and I would absolutely appreciate hearing it. It's, Joey's got my interest peaked big time.
Let's see if I don't know if I might have recorded a demo of it. I don't know. it's unlikely that it will be performed live unless it's like unless it would be like, I would do stuff like that at a kind of more of like, for instance, I just played a little benefit and we did Andy Warhol,
Oh, right
Oh.
on.
That's good.
That's an
and
excellent
we
song.
did
Yeah.
Our Friends Electric.
Oh, sweet.
You know, that's kind of where I'm down with doing stuff like that. It's hard to work it into a show and you're like middle slot.
Yeah.
Usually got like 40 minutes to get my point across, which is
All
like
right.
8
Well,
songs.
you can just call me and do it sometime.
Okay.
I'll be cool with that.
We will
I'll
set a
make it
time.
happen.
I'll look and see. I'm sure I would have recorded it.
I heard it with you.
Figure
You have
out
someone.
Yeah.
unless there's live footage from that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never can tell. There might
Yeah.
be someone out there watching the show, maybe has it and can put it up on YouTube or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could do that.
Do it.
You could do that. Yeah.
All right.
So,
You've been a tour manager for a litany of exceptional bands. You know, can you talk about some of those bands? Just like what are the difficulties maybe you've encountered on the road being a tour
Well,
man?
a litany, no doubt.
Mhm.
I would say really
Yeah.
more of a duo. Really Thrill Kill Cult and Pigface were the bands that were, and it's like rock star tour management in a way, because you're playing in the band too, but you have these, we're self-managed basically is just how I would kind of look at it, although
yeah.
somebody has to make some decisions. And then like with Clan of Zymox, we travel together. So there are elements that fall under what a tour manager would do, but I'm not really per se the tour manager. But really, I guess that when it was an actual job would be where I was paid for tour management would be with Thrill Kill and Pigface, both as
Mhm.
part of performance pay and management.
Double bill.
And they're both fun. I mean, the fun part with that is I enjoy the behind the scenes aspect of music, of live event and music production. And I like getting to know most of the people that work behind the scenes in the venues. Come
Mhm.
across some crusty fuckers sometimes, but in general, it's great to be the person that does business at the end of the night with the promoter and shakes their hand and settles the show.
Snack for the
And
band.
you develop a little bit of a personal rapport for the
Yeah.
next time around.
Mhm.
And I think that's all cool. So I really like doing that. And that influences everything from when we leave to where we go and all that. So get to be
Yep.
captain of the ship. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah,
It's not easy.
something I can do. And I think it's just growing up producing concerts and events that I learned a lot about the back end. And then like having friends like Jolly Roger who can show you how to be a good and
Mhm.
bad tour manager, depending on what's needed. and
Jolly.
and
What a freaking legend that guy is.
so it's cool. I appreciate the fact that both Martin Adkins as well as Groovy Man and Buzz McCoy would entrust me to help them
Yeah.
run their business basically.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I take
A
it
lot of
seriously.
trust. And yeah, no, that's got to be quite humbling.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
quite a load.
Yeah, and quite a load. Yeah, for sure, man. I mean,
Yeah.
having people of that caliber trust you to do what you do, it says a lot about you. And
That's why. That's
and
why
none of it's
he's
bad.
cursed.
Yeah,
That's why he's
that's
cursed.
why he's cursed. Yeah,
but I
yeah.
prefer not to do it and just go along for the ride and have
Yeah.
fun.
You said, fuck that.
Yeah, I
I
used to
want
be
some
that way when I
fun.
was a concert photographer too. I would get really tired of having to go to a show where I couldn't just sit and watch and enjoy the show. I was working through it, and it could make some shows feel very long when you're doing it like for a job. As I totally understand that. So, and I was a band manager for a while too, and back in the late '80s and early '90s, I was a band manager, and I managed Faith and Disease for a little while too. That was fun, right when they were getting started. So yeah, interesting. It was fun. Me hanging out with the promoters and the managers of the venues and stuff, because I was just in
Yeah,
Seattle.
they're all important people.
They are very important
Help-
people.
Yeah.
One of the
Help
first
make what
things I
we do
learned was
possible. So it's fun.
you ingratiate yourself to the sound man. That is the most
Yeah.
important relationship you're going to
I
have.
mean, that's how we have ended up picking up people that we ultimately took on tour with us.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Zanetta, I met her at a shellac show. She was one of Shellac's touring, or she was Shellac's touring sound person, and met her at this little club in Seattle a few 5, 6, maybe 9 years ago, I guess, when Shellac played. Got to hang out with Bob and Steve before the show. Absolutely stunning human beings, both of them. But I was watching Zanetta taking this wall of noise and fucking mixing it like a goddamn fucking god. It was absolutely incredible. So I started having a conversation with her and just trying to pick her brain a little bit about some of the stuff she was doing. And it's just I'm like, I don't know how you make something this cacophonous so
That's what-
layered and clear. It was one of the best sounding shows I have ever been to, and that's saying a lot, because I've been to a lot of really good sounding shows. But
Rest in peace, Steve Albini.
rest in peace, Steve
Again.
Albini. Yep,
Okay.
I got to fire off a text real quick. Pardon me.
no
No
worries.
problem. I take the text.
He's texting you right now.
Yeah, I know. I don't even have my phone. Yeah. Hey, you got glasses.
Yeah, man. Letters are small.
Yeah.
I need them to
I
be
know.
bigger.
Yeah, I need some glasses too, man.
Yeah, I do too.
I would
Sometimes
just, I would prefer just a full eyeball implant replacement.
I would like
whatever
that.
that. Give me just bio droid eyeball thing, like
Yeah.
So what did you do to your finger?
emotional analysis check complete.
Yeah.
That's the eyeballs. Read at 10x speed. What did I do to my finger? I guess a misestimation of velocity and placement.
Ouch. Well, I hope you're okay, man.
Yeah, seems
Hope
like
it's,
So,
hope it's worth it.
yeah.
Put the,
So
tell
one of
you
the
about it
questions
later,
we like,
Charles.
yeah, I know.
Off the record.
Off the record.
it'll be after we stop the recording, yeah. So one of
Yeah.
the questions we like to ask all the guests is
There's a lot of it's natural. It's the job is like it's all just a hard hat zone, like gear moving shit around.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's moving like shit.
It
Just gets
the-
jammed or something
but
smashed. So,
living on the edge is what it is. Yeah.
Yep.
So one of the things we like to ask everybody that's on the show is, do you have any words of wisdom, tips or tricks for the young generations that are starting to try to enter the scene artistically, and not just musically, but I mean, you've got a lot of visual artwork as well. Do you have any insight for younger viewers?
if you'll get nowhere if you're not willing to put your ass in the seat and do the work at least 2 to 3 hours every day and be relentless in your pursuit to complete and publish works. Otherwise, you're just kind of fucking off and hobbying it. But if you're serious about it as a career, then you have to do that. You've got to carve out the time and put other things aside and choose not to go out and get
Mhm.
over your fear of missing out so you can create something greater than that for yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
wonderful.
otherwise,
Otherwise, you should
just
have
love and be loved in return. I mean, it's just be a fucking good person and be fun to work with, and you'll get pretty far. You can be less talented and more reliable and more fun to work with and go a lot further.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
than
So, yeah.
people that are more talented or may have greater resources. So anybody can make it. You just have to actually make it, meaning make the work and then put
Yeah.
it out there. And then what comes from that is just depends on what your pursuits are and how
Yeah.
you organize a business or whatever. But it's all
Excellent.
doable. I mean, I'm living proof still that I'm standing. I started doing this when I was a teenager, and I'm still doing it today, talking about making a new record and going on tour. And there were times in my life when I wasn't doing that and I wasn't achieving that. I might have been miserable because I wasn't quite hitting my goals, or I felt like I got to get a fucking job for a while and get out of debt, which I've done that. And then I built up a nest egg, and then I left, and then I
Yeah.
saved money and then floated on it so I could get back to doing what I really wanted to do. And that's kind of how I live my life. And there's times where it's like feasting, and sometimes it's a bit, famine, and there's everything in
Yeah.
between, but if
Yeah.
the thing is, it's like, what do you want to do with your life?
Yeah.
That's
Excellent. Thank you
exactly.
very much, man.
You're
Yep.
going to write the book, write the fucking book. If you're going to make
Yeah.
the album, make the album. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
don't tell me about it until then. Like, that's
Yeah.
the reality.
I'm not going to talk about it either.
I'm going to talk about
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to share with us today we haven't talked about?
No, I appreciate your interest and love you guys. And thanks for talking to everybody that you're bringing in and everybody watching. I'm just grateful for the opportunity to share my art with people, and that an awesome group of people happen to like it. And that's the bonus. And that's kind of the upside
Yeah.
of what I was getting at of actually doing the art, is making it and then putting it out into the world so other people can enjoy it. And that there's something gratifying in that makes you feel good. So I just encourage people to don't never quit. Like Evil
Yeah.
Mothers, we kind of broke up because we got frustrated, and it's like, we're breaking up. Like the first time we actually broke up, and it's like, you can just take a break. Like, you don't have to break up. You never have to abandon a project. If you start a band, you can bring it back 8 years later if you want. You can
Yeah.
have 20 years between paintings, but that maybe
Mhm.
people see, but you should just do something creative every day.
Yeah.
That'll make you
Yeah.
feel good.
Excellent.
Well,
Thank you
and
very
that-
much.
Eat well and exercise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
good,
definitely
good to be healthy and
exercise.
be able to lift things when you're doing this kind of stuff. Yeah, for sure.
It helps. I mean, it sounds kind of corny and square or whatever the fuck, but the reality is that
Yes.
I know when I'm on tour, like if I took care of myself for, the 12 weeks beforehand, or if I didn't, I
Yeah.
feel it when I'm out there. So I just
Yeah.
want to feel
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
again, it's like, you just have to do the work. Exercising, working out sucks.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fun kind of once you get a groove on, but it's hard to get started.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
resistance is
It's
strong.
all about repetition with that, man. Just
That's
stay
right.
on.
And then you get on a
Dedicated
roll,
to
and then
it.
everything's groovy.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
I encourage everybody just to go for it, and you got nothing to lose, and this is your only life. So
Yep.
be the best you, and be better
Do
every
the
year.
best you can.
Excellent. Well,
Definitely.
again, a huge thanks, Curse, for being here. Can't wait for your next visit to Seattle. Hopefully, we'll be able to have some cake together that time.
Absolutely.
Lords and ladies, peasants and pawns, and all the beautiful two-spirit people, we've come to the end of another episode. As always, we dedicate this show to our friend Jason Lupo. Thank you for your support and participation. We're each all truly appreciated. Please remember, the world is better with you in it. Please message us for a free Ayatoya Crisis Hotline bracelet. We will even cover the shipping. Love, hugs, and belly rubs, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
Hey,
Thank
thank you,
You
Chris.
guys, love you.
Love you.
Bye bye.
Bye.